How will I know if I've merged with my higher self or who I've merged with? And did it help my ascension? Am I now in 5D? I have gotten those questions and so many more from the last podcast about merging with higher selves. So I'm going to answer the top questions that have come up about merging with your higher selves and ascending into 5D. Welcome to your multidimensional journey. I am Tracy Canberra, and let's get started with the first question. How do I know who I'm merging with? Well, remember that you have many higher selves. Now, as I've always been shown, your higher self is any other soul spark in a higher dimension than you. Think of your soul as a glass jar with marbles in it. The glass jar is the soul sphere. And each marble is a soul's incarnation because the soul is putting aspects of self. And remember, the one is the all. So being an aspect of your soul self doesn't mean you're not the whole soul, because you are. And the whole soul is all of source. You only remember an aspect of your entire soul. We're in 3D. We hardly remember anything of our full soul self. So a soul spark is an aspect of the soul self based on remembering, based on knowledge. Our physical body is in our light body, in our soul self, in the sphere of our soul, in the sphere of source. But we only remember a bit. So your soul has all these lives going on at once. All of them on Earth, all of them in higher dimensions, all of them on every planet. It could be infinite. When I ask all that is, do souls have infinite lives? Well, dear one, souls are part of source. And as source energy, yes, lives are infinite. But that sounds like a riddle to me. So whether we have 10 lives, 10,000 lives, or infinite lives, we'll find out soon enough. But getting back to how do I know who I'm merging with? First of all, if it is not divine light and pure unconditional love, then can't touch this. Do not merge with it. Do not call in energies that do not feel good. If something feels dense or maybe a little dark or critical or judgy, banish them, okay? Do not engage with any energies that aren't pure love and light. That's rule one of going multidimensional. Only engage with love and light. If you are engaging with your soul's other lives on higher dimensions, that's what I call higher selves. If you are engaging with your higher self, it will feel beautiful. It'll feel loving. It'll feel expansive. I've got friends and clients and YouTube commenters talking about merging with these beautiful beings and they don't know who they are. If a being feels beautiful and you can sense the love and light within them, then you're safe to say yes. If you want to say a prayer of protection or ask Archangel Michael to stand over you or anything that you'd like, go for it. I mean, that's up to you. Personally, I already know that I am protected and supported always. Now, 20 years ago when I started, did I say a prayer? Sure, especially before going into the Akashic records. But it's a given after doing this for so many years, so I don't say it anymore. But there's nothing wrong with saying a prayer and asking for protection and asking for angels to surround you, or asking to merge only with your angelic selves. It's completely up to you. But the bottom line is, if the being that is coming to you or the being that you are calling in because you have a specific life that you've been made aware of through past life regression, soul spark retrieval, QHHT, dreams, if you've got a specific life that you want to reconnect with, then call them in. And if it feels loving and wonderful, keep going. If it doesn't, banish them. So how will I know who I'm merging with? To be honest, you may not. They may tell you who they are. I had a client a couple days ago that described this beautiful being of light that they merged with. but they didn't know who they were. Inherently, they knew in their heart that this being was part of their soul, and they knew this being was love, but they didn't know if it was Pleiadian or Arcturian or Angelic. They didn't know who it was, and they didn't know why it happened. They had asked for it, and then the next day in meditation, this beautiful event happened where this being of light kind of hugged them from behind, surrounded them, and they had emerging that way. So it was a beautiful experience. Not exactly how I do it, but it doesn't have to be just how I do it. You have your experience. You do you, boo. So while they didn't know who it was, they trusted the experience because they could feel the love and they could feel the divine light. They could sense the light around them. So the truth is, if you can't recognize beings, if you're not there yet, and I say yet because trust me, you'll get there. You will get there. If it's your intention to recognize Pleiadians, Arcturians, Syrians, if it's your intention, you're inviting it in and they will do everything they can to help you understand who they are. So if you can't recognize who it is, that's okay. But note your experience, write it down, record it real quick, make notes of it, and ask to go back there over and over again. The more familiar it becomes, the easier it becomes, the more you'll be able to do it with other higher selves. So, how will you know who it is you're merging with? You may not, but keep going. And people expressed fears over you open the door and anything can come in. Not in my house, people. You set your intentions. Like I said, if you ask for protection, not everybody's going to come in. You wouldn't let a really scary, menacing person in your front door. If they knocked on the door and you look through the peephole and you're like, that guy scares me, you wouldn't open the door. Well, the same thing happens when you're bilocating and when you're merging. If your intention is to see more of your soul self and to meet your higher versions of self, you're not inviting demons or anything else in. And unless you are really open to dense negative energies, they're not going to come near you. You are vibrating too highly for them to reach you. Your frequency is too expansive. If you're listening to my podcast, you got a pretty expansive frequency, or it would fall on deaf ears. You wouldn't understand any of it. So for those that are experiencing negative energies coming at them, attaching to them, nightmares, whatever it is, first of all, I'm not the healer for you. I don't deal in that. I apologize that you're having a hard time, but that's not an area I wish to go. Those are my boundaries. But also, do not practice this. If that's your experience, do not practice it. You have to have the discernment between something cool just happened, except it scared me, so I'm not going to do it again for a week. Or something terrifying just happened, and I don't ever want to do that again. You have to be able to discern the energies. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going. You have to be able to trust where you're going. And if you can't discern the energies, if you can't trust yourself for what feels good and what doesn't, then don't play in this arena. Get some more practice. See a healer. Let a teacher help you. Another question, it could be other souls. To that, I say, honey, we are all one. Honestly, when you go up into the highest dimensions, it doesn't matter if it is soul sparks from your soul or from another soul. Souls always tell me, it doesn't matter if you were Cleopatra or you're just remembering Cleopatra's life really well. You go in the Akashic library, you can go into the Akashic records of anybody. You can read anything. And when you're reading the pages in that book, for me, I'm actually there. I'm reliving it with them. I put myself in that timeline. So truthfully, whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't matter if it's your soul self or other souls. In my experience, you've got to be in some pretty high dimensions before you can explore other souls' incarnations. You've got to get out of your own soul sphere to get into anybody else's, and that's not an easy feat. So my answer to that is I highly doubt that almost all of us can get into other soul lives, so don't worry about it. Again, this is set by your intention. Intend to meet one of your higher dimensional selves, and you will. Intend to meet your 10th dimensional Pleiadian self, and you will. And if you don't happen to have a life in 10th dimensional Pleiades, then maybe your ninth dimensional Pleiadian will show up. Maybe your 12th dimensional Pleiadian collective will show up. Who knows? I mean, I can tell you when we're in session, but generally it's up to you. Ask and ye shall receive. So, how do I know that I've merged with them? Well, there's a lot of ways to merge. Like I said, this client of mine the other day kind of got a hug from behind and really absorbed everything that way. I usually step forward into it. I had another say that they bring their higher selves into themselves, but they don't go into their higher selves. Well, to me, merging is we both step within the other. It's kind of simultaneous. Your focus may be inward on yourself and how that energy is feeling in you, or you can flip your focus around and focus outside of you on them and see how you feel within them. That's completely up to you. Merging is very unique, and truthfully, it'll be different for everyone. So, how will it feel for you? It could be a lot of light, it could be a lot of happiness. You could feel yourself get downloads. You could all of a sudden have epiphanies. To me, it is somewhat like meditation where you get into a bliss state. Not the same state as going into the void and merging back to source. It's not void. This is particular energies each time. The void is pure source energy. So it's kind of the absence of anything particular. So it could feel any number of ways. Again, we're going to go back to faith and trust in yourself. Believe that it's happening. If only some tiny little blip happens, get excited for yourself. Oh my gosh, I did it. It happened. I could feel it. I felt something. Yay. And then try it again later today or try it again tomorrow. Keep on trying it. If you pull on that thread and you believe in yourself, your experiences will grow and grow and grow. And then you will start to really understand what merging feels like for you. And it's going to feel different with every other higher dimensional being because Pleiadians feel different than Arcturians, than Sirians, than Andromedans. And whatever dimension they reside in feels differently. Are you merging with a collective consciousness or are you merging with more of an individual being? Well, depending on what dimension you're in, that makes a big difference. So remember, it is unique to you, those feelings. Just believe in the feelings, keep doing it, and you will feel it. Now, another question was, what do I do when I merge? Does that mean I've ascended? Unfortunately, no. Consider merging more like having a coffee date with someone. You meet up, you sit there and chat for a little while, sip your latte. It's a nice time. And you come away from this coffee date with your 10th dimensional Pleiadian self with more happiness, more joy, more expansive heart energy, more expansive intuitive energy, maybe some downloads, some more information. So you're better for the experience. You're richer for the experience. But merging with the higher self doesn't automatically make you them and you remember everything about them and you are now in that dimension. Let's go back to the baseline of we are human. We have physical bodies. Overall, we're ascending from 3D to 5D. Now, our consciousness, our multidimensional mind can expand our awareness to the point of 6D, 7D, or more at points. But you are not going to walk around this planet in 7th dimension because the physical body isn't the same. We are moving from physical bodies, going more crystalline until we finally inhabit just our light body and the physical body ceases to exist. That takes several dimensions to get to that point. In 5D, we still have a physical body. It's just much more crystalline. Our experience is much more expansive. And again, I am speaking from my personal experience over 2 decades. So 5D has some beautiful changes in it, but we don't turn into pure light beings. We still have a physical body. So when you merge with one of your higher selves, you bring that information back down into your body. You notice how you feel. You notice in the coming hours and days and weeks what synchronicities you have, What other abilities come online? What are your dreams like? Have any downloads open up yet? You just notice more. Merging is a process of constantly expanding your awareness so that you are able to anchor into 5D. And it is a state of being. And we're going there more often now and staying there for longer periods of time. So don't expect to all of a sudden be an eighth dimensional Lemurian walking the earth. That's not how we're doing ascension this time. Now, the last question is, can I merge with merged energies? Yes. So just like the Pleiadian angelic being that we spoke with last time, you can definitely ask to merge with your Pleiadian self and then find out it was Pleiadian angelic or Pleiadian Lemurian. It very much depends on your curiosity, your openness and willingness, and your awareness. I hope that clears up some of the questions around merging with your higher self and ascending. And remember, if you want help with this merging process, you can book a session with me. I can see who you're merging with, how you're doing it. I can help you anchor it in. It is happening, so keep doing it. Keep trying. Keep having faith and trust in yourself and believing that it's happening. Because every time you merge, you open and you activate more of your multidimensional DNA. You help yourself anchor in a 5D state of being more strongly, and you enrich your own life. So, like I said last time, if you want to share your merging experiences on my YouTube channel, please comment, share it with the collective, but keep trying because these energies nowadays are extremely intense, but they're also extremely open, which means they can fuel your leap into other dimensions. So happy ascension, beautiful souls, and I will see you in 5D.